The 2019 annual International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame induction ceremony will now be called to order. Presenting the colors of the museum tonight will be Jeffrey Godwin, the first vice president of the museum, and Gary Coe with the Friends of Towing, escorted by President Bill Graziano and Treasurer Tom Tetrick. Stand for the International Colors of the Hall of Fame inductees, past and present. United States of America, Mr. John Weaver. Canada, Mr. Gary Leach. Australia, Steve Bowman. Belgium, Steve Sedberry. England, Bill Georges. France, Ed Chambers. Finland, Randy Olsen. Germany, Randall Resch. Ireland, Peter First. Japan, Danny Horton. Mexico, Linda Unruh. Netherlands, Bob Berry. Poland, Tim Vibbert. Scotland, Patrick Weiner. South Africa, Lawrence Reichert. Sweden, Michael Aspesi. Switzerland, Ken Weber. United Kingdom, Nick Ovenden. Wales, Bill Byers. Please be seated. Michael Cherry of Land O'Lakes, Florida, escorted by Mary Beth Cherry. John Copeland of Poole, Dorset, United Kingdom, escorted by Aileen Copeland. Jamie Davis of Hope, British Columbia, Canada, escorted by Sherry Davis. George Kuntz of Bismarck, North Dakota, escorted by Jessica Kuntz. Glenn Landau of Daytona Beach, Florida, escorted by Ruth Landau. Quinn Pining of Fremont, escorted by Diane Hermoni. Perry Schuster of Antioch, California, escorted by Renee Schuster. The chair acknowledges the candidates for induction, together with the international colors of the members of the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame and Museum. Will the flag bearers please return to their seats? The International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame seeks to acknowledge extraordinary contributions made by individuals on behalf of the towing and recovery industry. Any active member of the museum may submit a nomination. The election to the Hall of Fame is by written ballot, cast by a board of directors. Election to the Hall of Fame is the highest honor our industry can bestow, and those so honored are truly the best of the best. Will Mary Beth Cherry please escort Michael Cherry to the induction station? Order of induction number 332. Michael Cherry, number 332. Mike Cherry was born in 1947 in Chicago, Illinois, and entered the industry in 1965 with Cherry's Towing. Mike went on to own and operate one of the single largest distributors in the nation, with multiple locations in Florida from 1989 to 1996. He has been both a Miller distributor and a Jerdan distributor over the years. Not really Miller, we'll say Holmes, right, Mike? Just for the Jerdan folks that are present. And has served the factory brands at several positions, including President of the Distributor Council, Territory Manager, and Sales Trainer under the Jerdan Group. Mike grew King Automotive to become the single largest Jerdan distributorship with multiple locations across Florida. Mike may be best known for donating his time to his community and others. He has served the professional wrecker operators of Florida as Santa Claus at their Christmas parties for PWF for over 10 years. Mike is well known for his antics at the NASCAR races at Daytona, giving many free entertainment in turn two over the years. One of the benefits Mike most enjoyed was handing out gifts to the children at the Joshua House as he played Santa. His dedication to promoting safety in the industry has been first and foremost for decades, sponsoring PWF training classes for tow operators as well as fire and rescue personnel. Mr. Michael Cherry, number 332.
Thank you, Tom. Good evening to my family, old friends, and new friends. I'm going to really try this. It's such an honor to be here tonight with all of you, and I'm very humbled to be added to the group of wonderful Hall of Famers is something I will cherish always. They have all made this industry thriving and a better place for everyone who decided to be part of it. I am here because of all the people who have influenced my life in the towing industry. My family, the towers, the dealers, the manufacturers, all have guided me through 50 years of this exciting business. Also, there are wonderful Hall of Famers who I have been influenced in my life. Earl Buskey, Bill Bottoms, Jack Graziano, Dave Jones, Bernie Alm, Dave Humphreys, Jack Chirac, John Hawkins, John Borowski, Jeff Badgley, Oscar Weeks, and Clarissa Powell, Pat Weiner, and Danny Horton, to name a few. There are many folks I'd like to thank tonight, and thank you to Tow Times for this incredible work you have done to put on this special weekend for us. Thank you to the museum for all the hard work they have organizing it all. The museum officers and sponsors deserve a huge thanks for all their efforts. I first started in the towing industry 50 years ago when I purchased my first tow truck, a 48 Ford tow truck for $800. Little did I know at that time the towing industry would become my life career. My gratitude for the opportunities and guidance from my loved ones, my family, is endless. They taught me the value of hard work, which has served me well over the years. Then I met the love of my wife, who has helped me many in all the endeavors over the last 50 years of our marriage. Our first official date was very romantic. I took her to a gun range to go trap shooting. She really did well, and I was convinced I had myself a partner. When we started life together, she jumped right in and helped me run the towing company, from the office and from the home. All of you that have run a towing company know what it's like to run a company 24/7. And speaking of family, I am very happy that my daughter Erica, her son Devin, our son Ryan, his wife Debbie, and their children, Vanessa, Monty, Sky, along with our great grandson-in-law Milo and grandson Mason, my father-in-law Brownie, or their father-in-law, the other grandpa, who have all made the trip to support me. My sister Mary Jane and her husband Dave came all the way from California. Thank you to my family and all my friends who traveled here from different parts of the country to support me. I love you all. Woo! Not done yet. Several years ago, we moved to Florida. I answered a job, I answered an ad in the newspaper for a tow equipment salesman. I've rehearsed this many times over, by the way. It was for a job as a distributorship owned by Oscar Weeks, which was at the time the first homes distributor. The man I interviewed with for that job is here tonight. And for the last 35 years, we have been connected in ways that go beyond the towing company. The man taught me a lot, and he's always had a special place in my life. He is Weldon Ryan. And the man who hired me for the first job selling towing equipment. He could tell you that when he interviewed me, I wouldn't give up. So I kept calling him to find out if I had the job. After numerous calls, he said, just come in and you can start tomorrow. On my first day, I sold my first tow truck, and that was the start of my sales career. The other dear friend of mine is here tonight, who I want to thank also. We were competitors in the distributor arena. In the beginning, he sold Chevron, I sold Jordan. But years later, we both ended up working as sales reps for Jordan. We were able to travel around together, often visiting customers through the region. We sat in many customers' offices talking about features and benefits, our products, and had fun using different approaches to make sales. That man is Gene McKinney. Thanks again, Gene. He's always been the calm one. I've been the crazy one. Thanks again, Gene, for your friendship. To close again, I would like to repeat how humble and honored I am to be inducted into this wonderful group of folks who have all worked hard to make this industry a thriving one. There are so many folks who have influenced my life, and I cannot name them all, but please know I appreciate each and every one of you who have been here, all the folks who have come before you. Those of you who made this trip here to witness this before, made this event so special to me, and one that I will never forget. Love to all of you. Thank you.
I told you, Mike, it kind of gets real when you're standing up here. Great job. Will Aileen Copeland please escort John Copeland to the induction station? Order of induction number 333. Did that intimidate you a little bit, John? You scared now? Don't worry. Get you through this. John F. Copeland, number 333. John Copeland was born in 1946 and hails from Dorset in the United Kingdom and has been in the towing industry for 57 years. His more than half a century of experience has been dedicated to bettering national, legal, and administrative towing and recovery issues in the United Kingdom. And more recently, focused on bringing to light awareness for slow down, move over in the UK. Not only a member of Avro, but also one of its founders 41 years ago, John is certified in all facets of the towing and recovery and transportation industry, and is a chemical tanker specialist. He is a member of the European Rescue and Recovery Initiative for over 8 years and received the Institute of Vehicle Recovery's Annual Fellowship Award in 2013 for his exceptional contributions to the recovery training industry in the United Kingdom. He is past chairman of the Royal Automobile Club and holds honorary lifetime membership in Avro for his outstanding services and commitment. He has received numerous awards and accolades, including the Cobra Lifetime Achievement Award from Liverpool Victoria Insurance for his outstanding contributions to towing and recovery industry. Managing his recovery business Castle, he achieved them to become Investors in People accreditation, providing job opportunities for people with learning disabilities and providing careers for eligible immigrant European workers. John F. Copeland, number 333.
And a big glassy. Wow. My sincere, heartfelt thanks go out to my nominees and the museum board for this amazing honour bestowed on me, and for my family and future generations to savour and cherish long after I've gone. Never in my wildest imagination, when I started out in business 57 years ago, would I ever be standing here amongst the very top figureheads in the towing industry. Nothing less than recovery royalty. It doesn't get any more awesome than this, an incredibly humbling experience. I'm so honoured to represent my family. Some of you accompanied me this weekend: Aileen, Jordan, Kelly, Anne and Neil. So proud to have you guys with me, and I love you to bits. To this event that I can only describe as the Towing and Recovery Oscars. I'm only a working guy, and I look around this room and I have to pinch myself. The living legends, the knowledge, the experience, the wisdom I see before me. How do I follow that? Before I left school, I failed most of my exams and my reports that said that I wasn't a very academically bright person. But I always believed in honest hard work. If there's a job to be done, it has to be done well. Probably at times too much so. Giving customer service a lot of the time before my family. I would think of them all safely tucked up in bed. I can recall going out on big jobs, exhausted, cold, wet, hungry, and not being able to see an end to it. And I used to think about them all safely tucked up in bed in the warm and dry and relying on me. This gave me renewed energy just to get the job done and get out of here. My mission has always been to constantly work with work providers, trade and community associations, government departments, to increase and to improve safety standards, working conditions, customer and public perception of the towing and recovery industry. And I shall continue to do so as long as I'm able. After witnessing the Spirit Ride and Move Over campaign 2 years ago at Baltimore, and the inspirational work done by Mike, Illy, Linda and the whole team, like many other people in this room, I've attended cancer, serious or fatal incidents and handled some really bad stuff. But as a professional, you just have to deal with it and move on. But the ceremonies I witnessed, there was big uniformed cops, armed with guns, tasers, bulletproof vests, standing there with tears coming down their eyes. I don't mind admitting it made me weep. On arrival back in the UK, I went to see the editor of the Professional Recovery magazine, my old friend Dave Gregory, rest his soul, he's gone. I told him what I'd seen and asked him, how the hell can we promote this in the UK? We just don't see stuff like that with a casket and all. The Slow Down and Move Over campaign is gathering momentum now, thanks to the effort of many dedicated people in the UK recovery industry, and they're vigorously campaigning for law changes in the UK. Unfortunately, there are other political issues that are taking priority at the moment. I won't say any more about that. And it begins with B. I have a few special thanks to people that I've learned a massive amount from and found them inspirational in my thinking. Ron Parrish, for your excellent TOE 411 and TOE forum, and the excellent source of information and learning. I'm proud to support it for the last 14 years. Bill Ludwig, for his constant enthusiasm of the coffee machine that has taken me 23 years to restore. Without his encouragement, I would probably cut it up. Nick Armstrong, my dear friend. For many years, we have set up accident and recovery training and demonstration scenarios, several times in front of some of the top rescue and fire and police experts in the country. And for his constant pecking at me for not wearing my work gloves. We're known as the symbolics. I have to give extra special thanks to my dear sons, Matt and Graham, for their constant loyalty, dedication, incredibly hard work and innovative ideas to bring the business forward, and putting up with me interfering all the time. I'm so proud of them. Finally, the most important person of all, Aileen, she joined me 52 years ago. Things were incredibly tough. Following a massive tragedy that I had, it was the darkest time of my life. She understood me, she stood by me, she's my rock, she is my best friend. She came out on numerous jobs for me, went in all weathers, down the pit, helped me lift gearboxes in, oil and water dripping down on us while we were changing crankshaft bearings. We both attended the school with very hard knocks. We married 49 years ago, 206 days, and had £4 in the bank. Aileen gave me 3 fine sons, and ran our home, and brought the boys up, and ran all our business finances. I constantly wanted more trucks and equipment, numerous times I would say we bought this or ordered that. She would say, how the hell am I going to pay for that? She was a genius at the figures and always made it work. No matter how much I ignored her or let her down, especially when I've been out on jobs for many hours straight, missing meals, missing family events, or calling them off just as we're going out the door. She deserves the credit, not me. I thank you.
All right.
Is Johnny gonna make me cry up here? That never happens. Will Sherry Davis escort Jamie Davis to the induction station? Order of induction number 334. Who is this guy? Anybody recognize him? Jamie Davis, number 334. Jamie Davis was born in 1964 in Vancouver, British Columbia, and entered the industry in 1979 at Aldergrove Towing, and now runs and operates a company referred to as Jamie Davis Towing Recovery in Hope, British Columbia, Canada. He learned early from his father how to operate a tow truck at a very early age. And while in high school, he would get picked up in a tow truck by his mom. Jamie would handle hooking up and handle all the recoveries, and his mom would handle the driving. Did she not trust you, Jamie? Jamie is a founding member and chairman of the Western Canadian Automotive Business Association. However, what Jamie is most well known for is being the principal character on Discovery Channel's TV series, Highway Through Hell. Anybody ever see that? Which showcases he and his employees' dedication and work to keep open the mountain highway, better known as the Coke, for all who travel through the region. The show, which is presently filming its 8th season, has brought public awareness and educated people all over the world on the dangers and difficulties that the common towing and recovery operator experiences day in and day out. The show is now broadcast to a staggering 170 countries around the world, being seen by millions of viewers who can now relate to the sacrifices that towers make every day. Good, bad, happy, or sad, Jamie says. He's always insisted that the show portray the real world of towing and recovery as it is today. It has brought public awareness to the Slow Down, Move Over campaign across the globe. And in Jamie's own words, things just don't always go smoothly out there. The show has created personal sacrifices for Jamie as well, but he has fought through them and continues, and the show is scheduled to go on for seasons to come. He has spent countless hours at no charge signing autographs and taking pictures for fans and children. I saw this today at the museum, and someone came up to me and asked me, "It's nice of you to hire Jamie Davis to do autographs here." And I said, he was fairly cheap. And I can tell you that I've seen him do that on countless occasions that he's visited us the last couple times. And the reaction that we get is always the same from the people that they just enjoy his presence. It's all because of his love and passion for the industry. It's an honor and a privilege to introduce the world's best-known ambassador for the towing industry. Love him or hate him, the business is what it is, and no one has done more to educate the world on what we do than the Discovery Channel and Jamie Davis. Jamie Davis, number 330.
Keep it short and sweet.
to congratulate my fellow classmates who joined me in being part of the 2019 class. I'd like to thank my wife Sherry and our family for putting up with me and supporting me over the years that I've been involved with our industry, for which I have so much passion. I'd also like to thank the Toy Museum and Hall of Fame for this incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience in joining the other outstanding inductees who have gone before us. Never in my wildest imagination could I ever have expected to be standing here tonight with so many world-class men and women. Looking back, I can remember when I first started to tow and did calls running the back end of my mom's wrecker, or my dad's truck, and she drove. At that point in time, I never had a driver's license. So it was a beginning of what was for years to come. Over the past 40 years that I've been involved with the towing and recovery, I've taken great pride in trying to be the very best that I could be. I take great pleasure in attempting to demonstrate to the general public what it takes to provide the services that we all do. I always try to show how these services are so vital and how difficult it is for our industry to provide these services given the day-to-day challenges that we all face. I'm extremely humbled and truly honored by this event that allows me to join so many other outstanding men and women in the Hall of Fame. I would like to thank everyone personally who had involvement in my nomination and for their support. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming out and joining us in this celebration with myself and my classmates. Thank you.
Will Jessica Kuntz escort George Kuntz to the induction station? Order of induction number 335. George Kuntz, number 335. In 1986, George pursued his passion for towing by working with Chuck's Towing until 1995, when he decided to venture out on his own, creating Ace 24-Hour Towing. Working hard to build his new business, he worked a second job by day and ran calls at night until he hired his first employee in 1996. George was doing so well that he expanded his fleet to include heavy trucks and eventually in 2001 bought Chuck's 24-Hour Towing from its previous owner. In 2004, George attended his first heavy-duty training class and later met someone very special who would be a great influence and mentor to him, Mr. Bill Tomlinson. In the coming years, George would prove to be a huge pillar in the community, both local and statewide. George was able to pull towers from all corners of the state to help build and support a Toys for Christmas initiative, which provided toys for hospital-bound children unable to spend Christmas at home with their families. To further his commitment to the community, George provided countless hours supporting the Department of Transportation, clearing ice and snow-blocked roadways, as well as assisting North Dakota State Highway Patrol, providing immediate first response to stranded motorists. In 2013, George and his wife, Jessica, revived the North Dakota Towing Association and was voted in as the vice president. Later, he became the president of the association. George was an instrumental driving force behind getting laws and bills passed regarding emergency lights for towers, the abandoned vehicle law, and a huge proponent for the Move Over law. George has received much recognition for his hard work and dedication to the community, to include the Golden Citizen Award, the Colonel's Award, and Honorary Fireman. The TRA awarded George with the National Citizenship Award for his tireless efforts working with North Dakota lobbyists passing the abandoned vehicle law, and was also asked to be the presidential appointee for TRAA. In 2018, George was awarded the Cross of the Order from American Towing Magazine, as well as the Top Industry Award from the Towing and Recovery Association of Ohio. George's vision, motivation, and determination has been the driving force behind his commitment to providing the best equipped, highly trained, and most reliable service to its customers and the public at large. Mr. George Kuntz, number 335.
I'd like Philip to please escort Emily to the front, please, and bring the book. When your 10-year-old asks to help write your speech, you will let her write her speech in her little pink book. When the letter came as far as that I was going to be inducted, it was a very tough week. Jessica's father had passed away, and the secretary never informed me of anything. So when Jessie come home on Saturday, she showed up at the house shaking and crying, and I said, "We'll get through this." And she's like, "No, shut up and listen." She says, "There's a letter here, you must open." I looked at it and I thought, well, she does all the billing, so the dues got to be paid. I opened it and I bawled like a baby. I'm not gonna lie, it was incredible. It feels like a dream yet here tonight, and I don't want to wake up. I'm hoping this is reality. First off, I must thank the Lord above for keeping us all safe. Our great crew at home dealing with a blizzard right now. Our crew here tonight for everything you guys do. And there's this lady. I don't know what she did to God to piss her off. She's stuck it with me, and I don't know why. But I'm so grateful she is here for me. My children, thank you. Great people. Joanne, Linda Hers, Randy Olson, the guys from Zips, and of course my brother. He got me into this mess. Thank you. Jeff and Jerry Rostoff has been a big part of our lives, and I want to thank them very much. I have 3 mentors, and one of them, of course, is dealing with the same thing I am. I call him Big Norwegian. That's Ole Olsen out of Minot. He's helped me many times. I'm sure his wife has said, I wish George would lose his phone number. But he's always there for me. I got this other guy that I finally got to meet. I talked to him on the phone many times. And a lot of you that know him will understand this. For crumb's sake, I guess I can't remember his name. But, oh, that's right. It's Bill Thomason. Bill's not able to attend tonight with his health, but I got the next best. I have his son Bob here. Thank you. Andy, thank you also. And I got this other guy that talked to him a lot. I call him the master. Again, when he first met me, he thought, why does this guy bother me? He's not going to ever do anything. He's got one of my best friends. He's a mentor. With over 7 years of towing experience, I'd like this man to stand and honor him as Mr. Bert Berkling. to help for the future. My kids want to do this. I don't know why, but they do. But I will help them all I can. I thank everybody that helped get me where I am here. Thank you.
Way to help Grandpa out with that book. Will Ruth Landau please escort Glenn Landau to the induction station? Order of induction number 336. Glenn D. Landau, number 336. Glenn was born in 1962 in Rahway, New Jersey, and entered the towing industry in 1976 with McCormick's Garage. He would go on to own and operate Friars Towing in Daytona Beach, Florida for decades. Glenn helped co-write and author the core curriculum standards for TRA's Light Duty Level 1 training program, the only recognized credit tier program for training and certification in the industry today. He has served as a committee member for the Society of Automobile Engineers on hybrid first responder practices. He has been a member of the PWOF for over 35 years and helped author their light duty training manual. He was Towing and Recovery Association of America's Education Foundation Chair for over 10 years and served as the state of Florida representative to the TRAA for 19 years. He has served multiple positions at PWOF, including its president for over 5 years, and served the SSTA as a bylaws committee chairman for over 3 years. And I was looking through these certifications and everything you did, and I couldn't read them all. I couldn't get through them. When do you ever see Ruth, for God's sake? His certifications and industry training notations are in the dozens. Among the awards Glenn has been presented with are the TRAA's 2006 Distinguished Service Award, 2010 Citizenship Award, and in 2013 he won the Distinguished Service Award again from TRAA. Professional Wrecker Operators of Florida has recognized his achievements with many awards, including the President's Training Award, the Past President's Award, and in 2015, the President's Award. Glenn D. Landau, number 336.
Now, first I'm going to go into how I actually got into the museum, and some of you know about it, remember. In the early days, we didn't have cell phones, technology, anything like that. You worked with your fellow competitors, and I was fortunate enough to work with Dave Jones. Most of you know him. His son was here last night. If Dave would get a recovery in our area, he would call, knowing we'd send somebody out. We'd be the communications to his office. One day, Dave gives me a call, as he always does, and he tells me he has this job. So I'm trying to blow him off, and anybody knows Dave, he's persistent. So finally I tell Dave, okay, I'll go for this trailer, and I'll come over. We get over to Dave's shop, and Dave says, all right, you're gonna hop in this tractor, and you're gonna go get this trailer. I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do, Dave? He's like, well, I'm going home to go get dinner. So we get in this truck, we start heading west where we meet another towing company, pick up this trailer. I'm not going to bore you with details. Bill could probably tell you. We dragged this trailer back, and 19, 20 hours later, we show back up at Dave's yard the next day. Dave comes out of the office, looks at us, says, Well, that's good, you made it back with the trailer. So I get on to Dave, I said, well, okay, what is it? And Dave says, well, I don't know, I got tea time. I've got to leave. I shake my head, I get in my truck and didn't pay no attention. A couple weeks later, comes up to the Florida Tow Show, and there's this trailer, Friends that Tell It. It was an amazing trailer for those that remember it, and had to shuttle that thing from Bob Berry's place, I think. And Bill used to be the fortunate one that had to haul it out of there. But that's when I was first introduced to this, and so many great people. I mean, John Hawkins' dad, Bill's dad, Jack. There's too many to list. So that's how I got here. You know, I have to thank all them. Now I get my prepared speech here. With all that being said, I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees of the class of 2019 Hall of Fame. I'd like to thank the nominating committee, the museum board, the staff, Tow Times Magazine for putting on such an amazing event. I'd like to thank my parents, my mom, who's no longer with us, my dad, who's here tonight, with all the opportunities they gave me. I never had the opportunity to do all the things that I've done in the towing industry. So Dad, thanks for everything you've done for me over the years. I know we didn't always agree, and it wasn't easy, and Mom had to be the referee. I couldn't tell you how many times. Once again, thanks for everything you did to me. I'd like to thank my oldest daughter that's here, Crystal, her kids Kayla and Jacob, who made the trip, and Crystal for all the time she put in working the company before moving. Next, there's not enough words for. I'd like to thank my adrenaline, chunky, adventure-seeking daughter, Chelsea, who figures if this business doesn't kill me, she's gonna kill me hiking and camping adventures she dragged me on. I think she realized a few weeks ago, after a 3-day, 54-mile hiking trip in the Grand Canyon, that I'm in better shape than she thought. I beat her out, no blisters. I'd like to thank my son Dakota and his girlfriend Rachel for being here tonight. What can I say? The industry lost out on one hell of a wrecker operator, and I'm glad to say he chose a different career. So Bud, it's good. Don't worry so much about me. You know, it was amazing. I saw people walk in here and, you know, one of my oldest friends from high school, Melanie Lipo, I'd like to thank her for, you know, sharing this night. I'd like to thank my sister for making the trip up here. And yes, she was smarter than me. She did not work for the family business. As we all know, none of us can be here tonight if it wasn't for our other family, our employees. Without them, none of us would successfully be here. And as unhappy as I am, I see 2 of my key employees are here tonight. Although they're supposed to be working for me this weekend. So I'd like to say I'm terrified what I'm walking into Monday. Darcy and Doug, thanks for coming tonight. And just so you know, this is not a company-approved trip. Don't turn your seats in. Last but not least, I'd like to thank my wife, Ruth. What can you say? She's had my back for 30 years now and had to explain to the kids probably 1,000 times why I left parties, missed dinners, showed up late or missed track meets, soccer games, cheerleading, whatever else I missed out because I was working. I can probably spend hours telling you all she's done for both my company, the towing industry, and our family. But I've spent way too much time up here. So Ruth, thank you. I love you for everything you've done for me, the company, and the kids. I'd also like to take the time here tonight to thank everybody out in this audience that took the time out of their busy schedule to come and share this event with us and the inductees, class of 2019, making a special night. Nick, I love you, man. I met him 19 years ago at a training class, and we've been friends ever since. Thank you.
Will Diane Hermoni please escort Louis Edwin Quinn Pining to the induction station. Order of induction number 337. Gwen, you should have made trouble with me earlier. I wouldn't have done that. You know I love you, brother. Father Quinn. Father Quinn. He's looking at me like we're going to have the second altercation in a decade later. Born in Louis Edwin Quinn Pining, number 337. I put Quinn in quotes for you on the bio. Born in 1956, Quinn entered the industry with Central Towing and Transport in 1982 and never looked back. You would be hard-pressed to find someone more passionate about training, safety, in the industry as a whole, and its operators than Quinn. Although sometimes he has a unique way of delivering his message, no one is ever confused where his heart may lay. I think I share the same trait. He has dedicated his lifetime and his career to working alongside law enforcement to ensure the safety, professionalism, and respect that towing operators deserve. In his countless years of dedication to the industry, Quinn has served the CTTA in a number of positions and now serves them at the highest level as their active president. He has been the co-chair of the Towing and Regulatory Oversight Committee, otherwise known as TROC in California, a past vice president of the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame and Museum, and a dedicated longtime member of the Wall of the Fallen and Survivor Fund committees. He played an instrumental role in writing and implementing the current CTTA training manual and has received many awards from CTTA at the state and local level for his service. He recently organized his chapter's Slow Down, Move Over Day in the state and successfully brought fire departments, police departments, the CHP, and EMTs together to bring awareness to the cause for towing operators and first responders throughout the Bay Area. Quinn's not only passionate about training and safety, he not only puts his heart into this industry, I can tell you firsthand, he's the first guy to raise his hand with his wallet countless times to donate and dedicate what's needed on a moment's notice. Quinn Pining, number 337.
Thank you. Sometimes great minds think alike, John. In a class with such great towers. Congratulations, gentlemen. It seems like the last 1/3 of my life, I am more and more finding myself standing in front of people trying to say something that is important to them. Sometimes I'm not sure if what I'm about to say is exactly right or partially right, or if I've gotten it all wrong. But tonight, there are at least a few things I'm quite sure of. Being a part of this industry, being associated with all of you, is an honor. I'm humbled and nervous as hell. I keep asking myself why I have butterflies in my stomach, and my knees are even shaking a little right now. Well, I think the answer is that it matters to me because you matter to me. It matters to me what you all, the people I most respect, think about the job I have done regarding our craft. No man is an idler. It really does take accountability relationships to build and to be able to accomplish anything worthwhile. And I have a large number of people who have cared enough to engage with me. Sometimes these people cared enough to stand in the way of me making huge mistakes. Other times, they have been the source of encouragement when I made those huge mistakes. I would like to say thank you to a few of those people, if you allow me. Richard Brunelli. My partner, my mentor, the guy who gave me my chance, my second dad. He couldn't be here tonight. Mr. Steve Cardinelli, the godfather of towing. How many of us would not have been in the CTTA without his leadership and encouragement? Mr. Jerry Bullock and George Conley, for always chasing me and others around trade show, looking for the next $100 for the museum. How about we all, at some point, reach in and give the museum $100? And of course, the reason I get out of bed every day is my family. My daughters Leslie, Aubrey, who couldn't make it tonight, my son Matthew. I love you guys. My friends are my family. Tori Dave, Sherry Walt, Brooks and Laura, Terry Warford, and a surprise showed up tonight. Michael, I love you, bro. Thank you. Lastly, I want to say thank you to Diane. She is the one who reminds me of who I can be. She makes me want to do better and be better. I wouldn't even be standing here if you weren't in my life. Thank you, and I love you. And finally, all the folks at the CTTA, the museum, Tow Times, that have invested in me as a person and a colleague. Again, I'm humbled at all of this attention, and I get emotional at the thought of my picture hanging alongside so many great men and women who love our industry like you do and I do. Thank you.
Quinn, allow me to be the first to match your donation, buddy.
Thank you.
Did I just witness Quinn cry? Did everybody see that? I think I've seen it all tonight. We've had the power go out. We've had guys get emotional. And Quinn pining shed a tear up here. That's got to be a first. I told you he always had a big wallet. Look at that. Just keeps pouring in here. We can have a hell of a party here.
That was one of our inductees.
Will Renee Schuster please escort Perry Schuster to the induction station? Order of induction number 338. It's a California trend at the end of this thing here. Perry Schuster, number 338. Born in 1966 in Walnut Creek, California, Perry entered the industry in 1988. Spending his last $30 to fill the gas tank on his first truck, he was off and running, and Arrowhead Towing was born. Apparently he didn't know Quinn back then. As the company continued to grow and Perry worked to add more customers, he became involved in the CTTA and eventually became a lead instructor at all levels for them, training, teaching, and certifying hundreds of California towing operators over the last 3 years. Arrowhead Towing now employs over 30 people and is well recognized in this community. As if that wasn't enough, his involvement in CTTA grew as well as, and Terry has held several positions with them, including chairman of the CTTA Legislative Committee, CHP TSAC member, and president of the CTTA. In 2008, Perry was recognized and awarded the CTTA Member of the Year Award. He remains active in his community and was instrumental in the start of the local Every 15 Minutes programs in East Contra Costa County, which focuses on high school juniors and seniors, challenging them to think about drinking, driving, personal safety, and making mature decisions. He organizes and donates his facility and equipment to training in his region, working with several fire departments, local police, and the area SWAT team. Never forgetting where he came from, Perry is a contributor to several youth sports programs, equine drill teams, the homeless, and at-risk veterans in the Delta area. Perry Schuster, number 338.
Thank you and good evening. At the end of March, I received a FedEx letter. Not expecting anything from the Hall of Fame, I opened it. I started to read. It is with great honor that I wish to inform you of your nomination and selection. That's as far as I read. I still haven't read it. I handed the letter to Susie and walked out of the office. This was completely unexpected, caught me completely off guard. Who am I to receive such a great honor? There are so many other people that have done so much more and are more deserving than I. I have walked the halls and know the faces in the portraits, these giants in our industry and their communities, these people whom I've looked up to for such a long time. These people have helped guide me through the pitfalls of business ownership, employees, and towing. After several days, I finally asked my wife, Renee, how did this happen? She told me that she and several of the people that I've looked up to for such a long time conspired to make it happen. It never occurred to me, and I never would have hoped that I would be selected as a member of this illustrious group. This honor I could never have achieved alone. It would not have been possible without help from a multitude of people, family and friends, colleagues, so many that I could never name them all, even though they all deserve recognition. With that said, there are a few that I have to mention. Thank you to the Board of Directors of the Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame for selecting me. To all of my employees, for without you, I would never have had the time to do the things that I have done. To my friends, Glenn Neal, Bob Berry, Rick Bays, all three of you who, against my will, drugged me kicking and screaming into the California Tow Truck Association education program and then pushed me over the edge and made me a heavy-duty instructor. I thank you for being my mentors and my friends. And one thing I would like to add about Rick Bays, we have probably done 1 million miles up and down the state of California. And you know you're true friends when I can yell at him and say, If you don't shut up, I'm going to drive your truck into the next bridge abutment and kill us both. But then, at the end, look forward to our next excursion. As we all know, the business of towing has demands like no other industry. The long hours, the late night calls, never knowing where you're going to be heading in the next 5 minutes. The school functions, the family vacations missed. These times we can never get back. However, on reflection, I believe that this industry, with all of its demands, has given me more opportunity to spend time with my family than any other industry could. Renee and I started the business together in 1988 and have worked together ever since, and we still like each other. Go figure. In the early years, car seats were just as necessary as snatch blocks on the tow trucks. As a matter of fact, 2 of my children came home from the hospital in a tow truck. To my family, who stood behind me for all these years, to my mom, you instilled in me the notion that I could do anything, be anybody I wanted, and to have compassion and understanding. To my father, through your actions, taught me a strong work ethic, and some would say that lesson took too well. Also, no matter how tough the battle or how hard things get, to never give up and keep up the fight. To my little sister Hillary, you have stood beside me and believed in the dream. We could never have achieved what we have without you. Sarah and Caitlin, you two chose different paths in life, and now I know how growing up in the towing family isn't easier. I could not be more proud of you both. Billy and Austin, the enthusiasm for training that both of you have shown and your dedication to improving the company, I look forward to working and building the business with you both. Tiana, it feels like just a few weeks ago that I was changing your diapers on the side of the road. If we were short-handed, you were always ready to go and help me on a wreck. I'd strap you into your car seat and off we would go. I still picture you sitting on the bed of a tow truck with your feet wedged tight, leaning backwards to operate the controls, while I went over the edge, down to the bottom, or even underwater. We never came back empty-handed. You have been my right arm, and with your keen business sense, you will succeed in whatever you want later in life or when it's time for me to pass the torch. Renee, my wife, thank you. You've always understood and shared my conviction and belief in our effort to create something from nothing. The long hours spent, day after day, week after week, year after year, home late again and again. Remarkably, you continue to support and love me. And for that, I will always be grateful. This honor that I received tonight is just as much yours as it is mine. For without you, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame and Museum, Mr. Bill Graziano. Our own teams.
Thanks, Tom. On behalf of the Executive Board and the general membership of the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame, it's my absolute privilege and honor to hereby induct the class of 2019. It's a big deal, fellas.
Please be seated. Thank you, Bill, and congratulations, class of 2019. To the newly inducted class of 2019, let me say that you have just taken a permanent place of honor in the history of our industry. In recognition for your outstanding and unselfish contributions today, you joined 331 outstanding men and women from around the world who, like yourselves, have earned the highest honor of recognition within the towing and recovery industry. Your portraits and biographies will forever be proudly displayed in our Hall of Fame as a beacon for others to follow. At this time, I'd like to invite up Mr. Rodney Pointer to handle the invocation.
It's been quite a while since I had the opportunity to stand up here. It's humbling to be here with the class that we have today. We have to understand that they didn't get there by themselves. A lot of help. And they have to have faith in God and a deep understanding of mankind. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening as we celebrate those who have given of themselves to advance the towing and recovery industry. We thank you for the opportunities to come together as brothers and sisters who share a passion for the work we do. This morning, we honored our fallen, and this evening we gather to celebrate those who help lead our industry forward. Thank you, Lord, for the meal we will enjoy tonight. May the food nourish our bodies, and may our fellowship nourish our souls. Bless all those who have journeyed from near and far to join us, that they may have safe travels on our road ahead. Thank you for all the opportunities and blessings you bestow upon us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
The induction portion of our ceremony for the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame, class of 2019, is now concluded. I invite all present Hall of Fame inductees to please come forward and be the first to congratulate the class of 2019 by lining up at the end of the table. After the current Hall of Fame inductees that are present come up, we invite the public to also come up and the family members to offer your congratulations to the class of 2019. Thank you very much. second half of tonight's program. If I can have everybody's attention back up here to the front of the room. At this point, I'd like to bring up the speaker for the 2019 class of inductees, Mr. Perry Schuster.
On behalf of the Wall of the Fallen class of 2019, we would like to thank the Board of Directors and the Selection Committee of the Hall of Fame and Museum for their tireless work and commitment to our industry. The class of 2019 is made up from people from around the world who face common challenges of our industry, which is made up of mostly family-run mom and pop operations. It occurred to us that we all face common challenges in our businesses. We recognize that the up-and-coming young people who will join our industry will inherit some issues, but will also be challenged by new technologies and new ideas and methods. We question whether this technology can advance without the foundation of a support of a younger workforce without a strong work ethic. What will the future hold? Our industry is unique, and many of those future operators will need to understand and embrace these challenges. Society needs to understand this and be respectful of our industry. We are seeing an ever-increasing number of women entering our industry, and with a welcome new perspective as a new breed of towing professionals. We recognize and applaud this segment of our industry and thank them for their service and commitment to professionalism. We have seen these women challenge and take on the most advanced rotator training and operations, becoming involved in every aspect of our industry. We need to continue to support their interest and advancement in any role of our industry. It is important to understand and preserve our heritage as we have seen in the efforts of the International Towing and Recovery Hall of Fame and Museum. It is hard to chart the future without knowing the past. We must continue to support the extensive commitment to honor our past and preserve our heritage for our younger generations. As tough as it is, this industry is our passion. It is family, it's relationships, it's trust, and like-minded people doing what we love to do. It is what we all love to do. Thank you, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.
Well said. Good job. Good job.